Sometimes when researching, planning, and producing a video for my channel, I find myself reaching content fatigue. I'm sort of getting tired of it, and it's hard to come to terms with. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is what it used to be 15, 10, or even 5 years ago. I primarily use YouTube on my PC, and I've begun to notice something strange on the site over the past couple of months, which I'll get into soon. But the other day I was browsing the app on my phone and saw a video from a creator I support and wanted to listen to the video in the background while I started up some chores. I clicked on the video and of course, an ad. Only 5 seconds, so not that big of a deal, but with my shrinking attention span, I scrolled the page of recommended videos during the ad time. Once the first ad was over, it started up a second ad and the app almost instinctively undid all the scrolling I had just done and it brought me back to the top of the page. If you've ever used YouTube mobile, you've definitely seen this feature before. My example didn't show it this time, but I swear I've seen YouTube forces you to the top of the page after the second ad as well. At first, I was only looking at the first row of comments and the description of that video. I thought that's what the app brought you back to at the top of the page, but no. I finally realized it brings you to the top of the page because there's an entire row before the creator's description catered in favor of the ad. It took me forever to notice that because I can't stand when I'm scrolling through a list of featured videos and suddenly I'm at the top of the page again, while the app tries to persuade me into clicking on the ad I didn't want to see in the first place. There's been controversy over the amount of ads and runtime of the ads on YouTube over the past few years, and I understand a company of this stature may need ads, that's fine, but to put an entire section of ads before the handwritten description of the creator is sort of where I've been rethinking the YouTube model. Seeing what I just described is what prompted me to even make this video. Sometimes when just scrolling the homepage on the app, I see ads that are, at least I believe they are, designed to look like any old video on the platform. Even in this example, the first recommendation isn't even a video, it's an ad. Even refreshing the page multiple times, the app gave me one video and one ad. Even in an actual video, I've gotten ads that make its way into the corner of the screen on top of ad placements in the video. When I first saw this, I legitimately thought it was part of the video I was watching, but it was there for a little too long and I decided to click on it, and what do you know? It was an ad. Going back to YouTube on the PC, I've noticed after clicking on a video, the page seems to take longer to load for some reason. I thought it was my VPN, so I turned it off and it made no difference. I also use an ad blocker and thought maybe just my internet was making the website slow down. But Penguins, Charlie, made an entire video about this a while ago, and he showed evidence that if you use an ad blocker, the site slows your loading speed on purpose. What? I'll try and find his video and link it below, but he's got a lot of videos, so it'll take me a while to find. This was already a deterrent from me posting on the site as is, but I continue to do so. Recently, YouTube updated their terms and service to not only cater to ads, but also to already expansive multi-million and billion-dollar companies. YouTube introduced a brand license to allow YouTube's AI model to train on all music posted to the site, including music that's already been posted. I don't know much about it yet, but to my understanding, if a massive artist is signed to a label, the label essentially owns that artist and or their contents they produce, which in itself is another issue. But if the label is in charge of anything the artist produces, then it becomes a massive copyright issue and illegitimate use of AI training, which is another thing. Why are we in such a rush to have AI replace everything we as people have built and worked so hard for? If not replaced, then to make it a social normality to have AI be in our everyday life. What's the big hurry? It's a race to be the world's next trillionaire, I guess, because I just have to have the next AI subscription, while government-funded education, animal testing reductions, and poverty solutions are just too expensive. Everything just mentioned is already a huge problem, but another problem bigger than that is that all of this is so new, there's not really any laws in place to protect individuals' passion projects centered around music from YouTube's arsenal of terms of services. One thing that really drives me nuts for any site, any program, any business, etc., is the terms of services. There's so much goofy nonsense in there. Obviously, no one's going to read all of it, so we sign and consent to it anyways. But if we don't sign and consent, then we can't use the product. It honestly just forces our hand to sign it to allow massive companies to get more data from us, which uses that data as sales for profits and ads. Then they use those ads to make more profit. Maybe this is why 2/3 of the wealthiest companies in the world shouldn't be in charge of pretty much everything essential on the planet. BlackRock, I'm looking at you. Unrelated, but not really. When I went to renew my driver's license, I was asked if I consent to having my face, name, address, and other data being posted for tracking use. I of course wanted to say no, but the DMV employee stated that if I don't consent, then I can't get my license. That's the biggest scam I've ever heard of. The employee said themselves that too many people were saying no, they don't consent, so the government just changed the law? What? Going back to YouTube's ad system and use of AI sparking my content fatigue, the site is not the same place I fell in love with as a child. That place where I checked to see if my favorite YouTuber uploaded anything after school, that place where I could post what I wanted with complete freedom, where small creators were looked after, does not exist anymore. YouTube is no longer built for small creators. Being a drop of fresh water in the ocean of meaningless content makes it hard to stand out without bending over backwards for the algorithm, which is why I've become even more hesitant to even create anything. I feel that I work hard for my channel and for my videos, and for those who will watch what I produce. And I don't want it to be out there getting stepped on by corporate greed or clanker data. Honestly, maybe I can post to a different site, but right now, I'm just not sure. It's just becoming harder to stand out as an individual creator. Not just me, but many others as well. From what I've seen and heard pretty much everywhere, is that people, at least with those with a brain and a conscience, the bare minimum, people with those attributes want to see fresh content and ideas. They also don't want to submit to already massive, successful companies. Look at the Backrooms movie and Obsession. Two young creators with original ideas, practical effects, and things people want to see. Not another Star Wars cash grab or some BS made with AI. Those two movies broke decade-long records, and he is 20 years old. I doubt I'm the only one who thinks this, but it's just baffling to see this happening and not a whole lot really being done. Thanks for listening to my rant. Craftables forever.